Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers Channel. Today, we will dive deep into the heart-wrenching drama and tangled web of secrets unfolding in Port Charles on Thursday, May 15th, 2025. From Willow's devastating emotional turmoil to Drew's mysterious revelations, and from strategic alliances to explosive confrontations, this episode promises to keep fans on the edge of their seats. Buckle up as we explore the intricate details of each storyline, uncovering hidden motives, unexpected twists, and the ripple effects of every decision made in this beloved soap opera. Willow's heartbreak, a shocking blow to her world. In the picturesque yet drama-filled town of Port Charles, Willow Tate finds herself drowning in a sea of emotional despair. The once hopeful and resilient young woman who has fought tooth and nail for her family is now grappling with a heartbreak that threatens to shatter her fragile happiness. Her relationship with Drew Cain has been a roller coaster of passion and uncertainty from the very beginning, marked by intense highs and devastating lows. Recently, the couple has been navigating the fallout of Drew's scandalous escapade at the Savoy, an event that left tongues wagging and trust hanging by a thread. Willow's pain is compounded by a deeply personal rejection. Determined to salvage what remains of her fractured marriage to Michael Corinthos, she embarked on a long and arduous journey to Baden-Baden, Germany, hoping for a heartfelt reconciliation or at least a civil closure. Packing her bags with optimism, she envisioned a moment where they could discuss the logistics of their separation, including her bold decision to move their children into a new home with Drew. But her hopes were crushed when Michael refused to even meet her, sending a cold message through his silence. Little does Willow know that the true orchestrator of this rejection wasn't Michael's cold heart but Drew's hidden manipulations. Unbeknownst to her, Drew played a pivotal role in ensuring that meeting never happened, all while maintaining the facade of a supportive partner. Compounding her anguish, a mysterious legal document is served to Willow in this episode, as hinted in the weekly teaser from General Hospital. Could this be the shattering blow that pushes her over the edge? Speculation runs rampant among fans. Some believe it might be divorce papers from Michael, formalizing the end of their union with chilling finality. Others whisper it could be a custody battle notice, threatening her bond with her children. Whatever the contents of this document, it's clear that Willow's world is about to be turned upside down. As she stands at this crossroads, still blind to Drew's deceptions, including the shocking truth that her own mother, Nina Reeves, had him drugged during that fateful night at the Savoy, Willow's trust in those around her hangs by a thread. How will she cope with this latest heartbreak? And will the truth about Drew's duplicity ever come to light? Drew sits discovery, a double-edged sword. Meanwhile, Drew Cain, the enigmatic businessman with a penchant for trouble, stumbles upon a discovery that could either be his salvation or his downfall. Drew's life in Port Charles has been anything but straightforward lately, with secrets piling up faster than he can bury them. His involvement in shady dealings, coupled with his betrayal of Willow's trust by interfering in her attempt to reconcile with Michael, paints a picture of a man walking a tightrope between power and ruin. This new revelation, teased by the show's insiders, might just tip the scales in one direction or the other. What could this discovery be? Given Drew's current entanglements, it's plausible that he uncovers incriminating evidence against one of his numerous adversaries, perhaps a rival in the corporate world, or even Nina herself, who orchestrated his drugging to protect her own interests. Such leverage could arm Drew with the ammunition he needs to reclaim control over his spiraling life. Alternatively, this discovery might be a Pandora's box, revealing a truth about his own actions that could bring his carefully constructed house of cards crashing down. Imagine if Drew unearths evidence of his own tampering with Willow's plans in Germany, inadvertently exposing his lies to someone who could use it against him. As fans, we can only speculate whether this plot twist will crown Drew as a cunning victor or cast him as the architect of his own demise. Carly and Jason, a strategic alliance against chaos. In another corner of Port Charles, the dynamic duo of Carly Spencer and Jason Morgan are seen putting their heads together to devise a critical strategy. These two best friends, bound by years of loyalty and shared secrets, have weathered countless storms together, and their latest collaboration promises to be no less intense. While both are privy to the explosive secrets surrounding Brooklyn Quartermain's adoption, a revelation that could shake the Quartermain family to its core, their current discussion seems to veer in a different direction, according to the episode teasers. Their strategy session could center on protecting Sonny Corinthos, Carly's ex-husband and Jason's longtime boss, from a dangerous deal. Rumors swirl that Sonny is under pressure to sell his valuable waterfront territory to the nefarious Sidwell, a move that could jeopardize his empire and safety. Carly and Jason, ever the protectors, might be crafting a plan B to outmaneuver Sidwell, perhaps by finding an alternative buyer or staging a covert operation to scare him off. Alternatively, their focus could shift to a more personal mission, ensuring Michael's children are safeguarded from Drew's increasingly questionable influence. With Willow unwittingly caught in Drew's web, Carly and Jason might be plotting to expose his true nature, securing the kid's future away from his manipulations. Whatever their goal, this powerhouse pairing is sure to deliver a masterclass in cunning and determination. Alexis sits Gambit, a desperate move for control. Elsewhere, Alexis Davis is rolling the dice with a bold new strategy to regain control over her tumultuous circumstances. Known for her sharp intellect and unwavering resolve, Alexis has found herself cornered by the relentless greed of Ava Jerome and Rick Lansing. This unscrupulous duo has been tightening the screws, exploiting Alexis's vulnerabilities by blackmailing her over her daughter Christina's past misdeeds. To keep them at bay, Alexis has resorted to dipping into the vast Cassadine fortune through illicit means, a risky endeavor that could cost her everything if exposed. Now Alexis is poised to make a decisive chess move, one that could either outsmart her tormentors or lead to her ultimate ruin. Could she be gathering evidence to turn the tables on Ava and Rick, exposing their own dirty laundry? Or might she be seeking an unlikely alliance with another Cassadine family member to bolster her position? Fans are buzzing with theories, but one thing is certain: Alexis is playing a high-stakes game, and her next step will determine whether she emerges as a victor or a victim in this cutthroat battle of wits. Laura sits breaking point. A mayor under siege. Finally, Laura Collins, the steadfast mayor of Port Charles, reaches her breaking point in a dramatic confrontation that has been brewing for weeks. Despite her exemplary record of leadership and dedication to the town, Laura faces mounting opposition from factions determined to unseat her. At the forefront of this political coup is Councilman Ezra Boyle, a scheming opportunist eager to claim her position for himself. Laura's ties to Sonny Corinthos, while a source of personal strength, have become a liability, painting her as a controversial figure in the eyes of her detractors. Under this unrelenting pressure, Laura's calm demeanor finally cracks, and she unleashes her pent-up frustration in a moment of raw emotion. Who bears the brunt of her outburst? It could be a trusted ally, someone like Kevin Collins, who might struggle to understand her sudden volatility. Or it might be an enemy, perhaps Boyle himself, in a public showdown that could either rally her supporters or give her opponents more ammunition. The stakes are high, and if Laura misdirects her anger, the consequences could be catastrophic, potentially costing her the mayoral seat she has fought so hard to maintain. As fans, we stand by Laura's right to vent, recognizing the weight of the burdens she carries, but we can't help but worry about the fallout. Next, we will delve into the gripping turmoil surrounding Christina Corinthos and the cascade of secrets threatening to destroy her family in Port Charles on Thursday, May 15, 2025. From shocking revelations about blackmail to the moral dilemmas of embezzlement and the desperate pleas for accountability, this episode of General Hospital is packed with emotional stakes and complex decisions. Join us as we explore the intricate layers of each character's journey, uncovering hidden truths, invented twists, and the potential fallout of every choice made in this dramatic saga. Christina's shocking revelation: blackmail unraveled. In the tumultuous heart of Port Charles, Christina Corinthos is on the brink of uncovering a devastating secret that could alter her life forever. Unbeknownst to her, Rick Lansing and Ava Jerome have been holding a dark sword over her mother, Alexis Davis, through ruthless blackmail. Christina remains unaware that her dangerous act of tampering with Ava's brake lines, a reckless attempt born out of anger, was caught on camera. When Ava discovered the sabotage, she meticulously reviewed the security footage from that fateful night, piecing together undeniable evidence of Christina's guilt. The grainy video captures every damning moment as Christina, fueled by emotion, severed the lines under the cloak of darkness, believing no one would ever know. Now, armed with this explosive proof, Ava and Rick have been tightening their grip on Alexis, exploiting her maternal instincts to protect her daughter at any cost. The question hanging in the air is whether Christina, upon learning of this blackmail, will muster the courage to confront her own actions and put an end to this vicious cycle. Could she negotiate with Ava and Rick directly, offering a confession in exchange for their silence? Or will her discovery ignite a fire within her to protect her mother by any means necessary, even if it means diving deeper into deception? Fans are left wondering if this revelation will be the catalyst for Christina to finally stand up, or if her past patterns of avoidance will keep her tethered to denial. Alexis sits moral quagmire. Stealing for salvation. Meanwhile, Alexis Davis finds herself ensnared in a web of ethical turmoil, torn between safeguarding her daughter and the weight of her own conscience. At the behest of Valentin Cassadine, Alexis has been tasked with overseeing a trust fund established for his daughter Charlotte Cassadine, a sum of money once under Ava's control before Valentin reclaimed it. For Ava, who now finds herself financially strapped, this trust represents a golden opportunity to claw back some security, even if it means manipulating Alexis into illicit dealings. Under the relentless pressure of Ava and Rick's blackmail, Alexis has resorted to siphoning funds from Charlotte's trust, a decision that gnaws at her soul. She is painfully aware that she's pilfering from an innocent child, yet her love for Christina and fear of her facing attempted murder charges drive her to this desperate act. Alexis's internal struggle is palpable as she justifies her actions with the belief that she's shielding Christina from a lifetime behind bars. However, her history of shielding Christina from consequences dating back to covering up her past mistakes raises questions about whether this pattern of enablement has done more harm than good. Imagine the sleepless nights Alexis endures, haunted by the thought of an audit uncovering her theft. How will she explain the missing funds if the Cassadine family, known for their ruthless protection of wealth, demands transparency? Perhaps she's crafting a false paper trail, forging documents to mask her misdeeds, but such lies could unravel spectacularly. The specter of legal repercussions looms large, and if caught, Alexis could face not just prison but the loss of her reputation as a respected attorney. Will her gambit to save Christina ultimately cost her everything? Christina's accountability, a grown woman's reckoning. Christina Corinthos, now a grown woman, stands at a critical crossroads where her past and present collide with devastating clarity. No longer the impulsive adolescent whose mistakes were swept under the rug by a protective mother, Christina knew full well the gravity of her actions when she targeted Ava's brake lines. Her intent was specific and personal, not to harm Rick Lansing, the father of her sister, but to exact revenge on Ava alone. Yet this calculated malice does not absolve her of the broader crime. Tampering with anyone's vehicle in such a lethal manner is indefensible, a reckless choice that could have ended in tragedy. Instead of confronting Christina directly and urging her to take responsibility, Alexis has opted for a more extreme measure, having legal papers drawn up to potentially have her daughter committed, a drastic step discussed in hushed tones with Diane Miller. This decision reflects Alexis's desperation, but also her continued reluctance to hold Christina accountable through honest dialogue. Reflect on the countless messes Alexis has entangled herself in over Christina's actions, most notably the unresolved guilt from Christina's underage hit-and-run incident years ago. Has Alexis learned nothing from the past, where sheltering Christina only delayed inevitable reckonings? Now, with the truth of the blackmail and embezzlement looming, Christina has a narrow window to fix this before her mother faces irreversible consequences like imprisonment for financial misconduct. Will she finally step forward, confess her crime to the authorities, and spare Alexis further ruin? Or will her fear of consequences keep her silent, perpetuating the cycle of avoidance? Lucky Sip's plea and the call for consequences. Adding another layer to this intricate drama, Lucky Spencer emerges as a voice of reason, tirelessly urging Christina to turn herself in and face the music. Lucky, who has witnessed the Corinthos family's tangled history of loyalty and lawlessness, understands the weight of carrying unaddressed guilt. His plea is not born of judgment but of a genuine desire to see Christina free herself from the burden of her secrets before they consume her entirely. Picture Lucky sitting Christina down in a quiet corner of Kelly's diner, his tone earnest as he recounts how owning up to past mistakes saved his own life from spiraling further. He warns her of the ripple effects, how her silence not only endangers Alexis but also erodes the trust within their family. What will it take for Christina to heed Lucky's counsel and embrace accountability? Is it the fear of losing her mother to a prison cell, or the realization that her actions could taint her own future as a role model to younger family members? The time for Christina to face the consequences of her poor choices has never been more urgent. Each day she delays, the noose tightens around Alexis, who risks exposure for embezzlement at any moment. Fans speculate whether a dramatic intervention, perhaps orchestrated by Lucky, alongside other concerned loved ones like Sam McCall, might finally push Christina to the police station. The burning question remains: when will Christina own her bad decisions, and will it be in time to salvage the wreckage of her family's trust? Next, we will uncover the explosive mystery brewing in Port Charles as Lulu Spencer digs into a shocking suspicion about Gio Palmieri's true parentage on Thursday, May 15, 2025. What begins as a whisper of doubt could erupt into a life-altering revelation for multiple families, with secrets, DNA tests, and emotional stakes at the forefront. Join us as we dive deep into each aspect of this unfolding drama, weaving in fresh details, imagined scenarios, and the potential consequences of Lulu's relentless quest for the truth. Lulu's growing suspicion, unraveling Gio's origins. In the ever-dramatic landscape of Port Charles, Lulu Spencer finds herself gripped by a startling theory that could rewrite the personal histories of several beloved characters. After piecing together cryptic clues and fragmented memories, Lulu has begun to suspect that Gio Palmieri, a young man who's become a familiar face in town, might actually be the biological son of Brooke Lynn Chase. Her curiosity was first piqued by inconsistencies in Brooke Lynn's whereabouts during her senior year of high school, a period marked by unexplained absences that Lulu now believes could point to a secret pregnancy. Picture Lulu late at night, poring over old yearbooks and social media posts, trying to map out a timeline that aligns with Gio's age, her journalist instincts kicking into overdrive. Determined to keep her hunch under wraps until she has concrete proof, Lulu is treading carefully, not breathing a word to anyone, not even her closest confidants. However, the weight of this potential bombshell gnaws at her as she imagines the ripple effects it could have on her own family, especially her son, Rocco Falconeri. Could Gio and Rocco share more than just friendship? Could they be brothers? The thought alone sends chills down Lulu's spine, fueling her resolve to seek answers. Her mind races with the possibility that Dante Falconeri, Rocco's father and her ex-husband, might unknowingly be tied to Gio in a profound way. Will Lulu's suspicions prove founded, or is she chasing a ghost from the past that could upend innocent lives? The DNA dilemma, a risky path to truth. Driven by her need for certainty, Lulu contemplates a bold and ethically murky step, conducting a DNA test to compare Gio's genetic profile with Rocco's. This move, she believes, could swiftly confirm whether Dante is the father of both boys, thus validating her theory about Brooke Lynn's hidden past. To expedite the process, Lulu is determined to rush the test, envisioning a scenario where results arrive in mere days rather than weeks. But a critical hurdle stands in her way. She lacks the legal authority to test Gio's DNA without his consent, and as a non-guardian, her actions could land her in hot water. Imagine Lulu pacing the halls of General Hospital, wrestling with the moral implications of her plan, yet unable to quell the burning need for answers. To pull off this clandestine operation, Lulu considers turning to a trusted ally, Dr. Lucas Jones, whose access to medical resources could facilitate the test discreetly. She might approach Lucas under the guise of a personal favor, perhaps meeting him in a quiet corner of the hospital cafeteria to plead her case with hushed urgency. But can Lucas navigate this request without risking his professional standing or violating hospital ethics? If caught, both he and Lulu could face severe repercussions, from legal consequences to damaged reputations. Moreover, how will Lulu even obtain Gio's DNA, perhaps by swiping a discarded coffee cup or a strand of hair during a casual encounter at Kelly's diner? The logistics alone highlight the dangerous line she's walking, but her determination seems unshakable. Will her gamble yield the truth, or will it ignite a scandal that engulfs them all? The weight of the results, Lulu Sepp's next move. Assuming Lulu manages to secure the DNA test results, a new question looms large. What will she do with this potentially life-shattering information? If the test confirms that Gio is indeed Brooke Lynn's son, and possibly Dante's as well, Lulu will hold a ticking time bomb in her hands. One path she might consider is confronting Brooke Lynn directly, marching to her door with the results clutched tightly, her voice trembling as she demands an explanation. Lulu could offer Brooke Lynn a chance to come clean to Dante herself, perhaps issuing an ultimatum, reveal the truth within a tight deadline, or Lulu will take it upon herself to inform him. Visualize the tension in that moment, with Brooke Lynn's eyes widening in shock as years of buried secrets resurface in an instant. Alternatively, Lulu might grapple with whether to keep the results buried, torn between her instinct to protect the fragile status quo and her belief in honesty. If she discloses the truth to Dante and Rocco without Brooke Lynn's input, the fallout could be catastrophic, fracturing familial bonds and trust. Brooke Lynn, upon learning of Lulu's discovery, might desperately plead for silence, arguing that Gio's life built on the belief that his adoptive parents were his biological kin would be irreparably shattered. Can Brooke Lynn sway Lulu to hold her tongue, painting a vivid picture of Gio's potential emotional breakdown? Or will Lulu's sense of duty to Dante override any promises of secrecy, compelling her to lay bare the hidden lineage? Each choice carries monumental consequences, leaving fans to ponder which direction Lulu's moral compass will point. Gio's unknowing vulnerability, a life on the brink. At the heart of this brewing storm is Gio Palmieri, a young man blissfully unaware of the seismic shift that could soon upend his entire identity. Adopted at birth, Gio has grown up believing that his late adoptive parents were his biological family, their memory a cornerstone of his sense of self. The notion that he might be Brooke Lynn's son, and possibly tied to the Falconeri family, is a truth he has never contemplated. Consider Gio's daily routine practicing his music at the Quartermaine mansion, unaware that the very people around him might hold keys to his origins. If this secret bursts forth, the emotional toll could be staggering. He might grapple with feelings of betrayal, confusion, and loss over a past he never knew existed. Does Gio even need to know the truth, or would ignorance serve as a kinder shield? Lulu's actions, while driven by a quest for clarity, risk destabilizing Gio's world in ways she may not fully grasp. After a recent tense encounter with Dante, perhaps over a misunderstanding at a local event, Gio already harbors reservations about him, making the prospect of a paternal connection even more fraught. If Dante learns he has a son he's unknowingly crossed paths with his entire life, the revelation will strike like lightning, blending joy with regret and anger over lost time. How will Dante process the bombshell that he's been near his child without realizing it, and how will Gio react to a father figure he's already distanced himself from? The emotional chessboard is set, and every move Lulu makes could either mend or shatter these delicate ties. Brooke Lynn sips secret, a mother sips hidden burden. Brooke Lynn Chase, the potential linchpin of this entire mystery, carries the weight of a past decision that could soon come to light with devastating force. If Lulu's suspicions are correct, Brooke Lynn gave up Gio for adoption as a teenager, a choice likely born of youthful fear and societal pressure, orchestrated in secrecy to protect her future and her family's reputation. Imagine the quiet moments of reflection Brooke Lynn endures, perhaps gazing at old photographs from her high school days, haunted by the child she never knew. Learning that Gio, the young man she's watched from a distance in Port Charles, is indeed her son would unleash a torrent of emotions, from longing to guilt over the years she missed. Faced with Lulu's potential revelation, Brooke Lynn might scramble to control the narrative, begging for time to approach Dante herself with the truth. She could envision a heartfelt confession under the soft glow of evening lights at the pier, her voice breaking as she explains the impossible choice she made long ago. But if Lulu pushes forward without her consent, Brooke Lynn's agency in this delicate matter slips away, leaving her to pick up the pieces of her son's fractured trust. Can she persuade Lulu to let her handle this on her terms, or will the truth spill out in a way that no one can contain? The stakes for Brooke Lynn are not just personal but deeply familial, as the Quartermaine and Falconeri clans brace for a revelation that could redefine their legacies. Conclusion: a powder keg of secrets in Port Charles. As the drama intensifies in Port Charles on Thursday, May 15, 2025, General Hospital crafts a riveting tale of suspicion, secrecy, and the search for truth surrounding Gio Palmieri's parentage. Lulu Spencer's relentless pursuit of answers through a risky DNA test threatens to unearth a long-buried connection between Brooke Lynn Chase, Dante Falconeri, and an unsuspecting Gio. Each decision Lulu makes, whether to confront, conceal, or reveal, carries the potential to either heal old wounds or inflict new ones, reshaping the lives of everyone involved. Will the truth set this family free, or will it detonate like a bomb, leaving irreparable damage in its wake? Stay tuned to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel for more updates and share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think Lulu should do with her suspicions about Gio?